All right, welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I am Hoot Hobbs. With me, as always, Mr. BT, Brandon Torres, who is giving me looks that he wants me to stop screaming over the intro music, but
never going to happen.
That will probably not happen. Well, I don't know. Up until the fans speak and this becomes the BT show, you'll be like, "Hey, everybody, this is Mr. BT, Brandon Torres, with my co-host, Slow B over here." Hey. I'll be like, "Hey." Yeah. We'll just have to switch roles completely. Watch it. Like, hey.
We got to do that one day.
I definitely agree. I have all the facts. There's no opinions here. It's just facts. Look, let me read them to you because now I'm BT. And you can just scream irresponsible, just wild allegations. You can be like, Brett Kavanaugh got me too back at a party some 40 years ago. There's no proof that
I got to walk it back by the end of the episode.
Yeah, see, that's what it's like to be me. Just be like, oh, yeah, and this happened. Hey, by the way, that actually didn't happen.
Hey, so it turns out I was a little wrong. I may have jumped the gun on that one. I apologize for that.
Like, you made a lot of people mad over what you just said. And, like, the problem is, you could have looked it up. You just said it. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, whatever, man. You don't like what I got to say, find another show.
I don't know. Why is that you?
I don't know.
You're making a parody, but why is that still you?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, nobody is safe from my sense of humor, not even me. So let's get into it, man. Hey, look, we were plagued. I'm talking straight plagued with technical difficulties for last week's show, which is why the show that dropped I'm going to say today, but maybe by the time you listen to this, last week, whatever, I don't know, whatever the case may be. We apologize. It's a short show. It's a fun show, but it is short and it comes to an abrupt end. But that's because, like I said, we were dealing with some problems. We think we got them all sorted out. So we should be good for a full episode. Another change that's hitting you is we have noticed that there are people who do like garbage time sports. And we're pretty sure that they are named Hoot and BT.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is go back to our original format of this show. We're going to go ahead and dumb it down again to just one show instead of two. Kind of felt like we were just banging our heads against the wall trying to make two good shows whenever we had one really good show. But we'll try to dial the sport. If you want to know more in-depth stuff about the sports topics we talk about, then that's going to be your job to reach out to us and we can actually have some conversations. Whether it be on air, off air, it doesn't matter. We'll do that for you. But right now, we're going to go ahead and put sports back into the Hoot Hobbs show and just kind of hit them real, kind of go through a topic. We'll get in light discussion. But, hey, also for those of you who are not sports fans, that will be at the end of the Hoot Hobbs show.
Yeah, we're not going to start the show with that like we tended to do in the past. And then we kind of put ourselves in a corner and we couldn't get out of the sports.
Yeah, because honestly, like, you guys have Sports Center, ESPN Radio, hitthatline.com if you're a Hog fan. You can do all those things to get all your nitty-gritty details. If you're just trying to hear somebody bust off on some topics and probably make fun of the people, then we're your guys.
Yeah,
we're your guys. So
like Tom Brady missing football to go hang out with Giselle, or maybe be the Masked Singer.
Yeah, maybe. Terry Bradshaw did the Masked Singer, but Terry Bradshaw's
not.
He'd been retired
by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and missing a fucking preseason game.
Yeah, okay, but here's the deal. He's Tom Brady. Everyone's on this dude's jock forever. I mean, he's Tom Brady.
I don't care.
Hey, didn't we just say we weren't going to do sports at the beginning of the show? So let's just get into it. Hey, whenever you hear some music that sounds out of place, that's your sign. We're going into sports.
That's your cue. We're going into sports.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just get into it. So last week we got cut short. We recorded it, but we lost it.
We lost the recording
due to it. So I had talked about an app that my wife and I had downloaded that I actually thought was it's fun. But man, I got to be honest with you, it's really good for your relationship too. It gets you talking about things you maybe wouldn't normally talk about.
Yeah.
And because like honestly, what do you talk about with your wife? What, like, how was your day? What do you want for dinner?
Yeah. What's on TV?
What's on TV? Hey, you want to go, that's it, right? You've been married, you've been together long enough that's probably, I'm not saying you never have deep conversations because everyone does, especially when they come in the form of arguments. But this app, it's called Paired, okay? And no, I do not get paid from this app. I wish I did. But I wish I got paid from a lot of MeUndies. What's up? Anyway, Paired. So it's like a relationship, like a couples app. And it does ask you the questions on setup. Like, it's not just couples, thruples. And other things can all be thruples, yeah, like polyamorous.
I understand, but
but
thruples, nice.
Yeah, well, I would say I actually have a friend of mine who has 2 wives, which I find to be just insane, but not for the reasons other people think. Like, I'm like, what if? You know what? That might be
another subject for another show.
We'll
do a deep dive on that one.
Maybe so. We'll just put a pin in thruple.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway,
damn, there goes the name of this episode.
Yeah, put a pin in thruple. My wife will be like, "What you mean, put a pin in?" I'll be like, "No, not like that."
No.
Listen to the episode.
Damn it, BT. Damn it.
Yeah. So anyway, on this app though, it asks all your basic questions. I'm a man, woman, other, interested in men, women, other, whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it asks you all these questions. But so my wife and I got paired up on it, and you even select who your partner is and stuff. Bam, it links us up. You send a code to your partner, whatever, and it gets you linked up, and that's the way you play. So it's like quizzes and games and stuff. Mainly it's all like trivial type things, asking questions, right? Like there's things over, what you consider to be fun, like social interactions. There's things over sex. I mean, there's a huge array of games and quizzes over sex that everyone always like, you shouldn't talk about that. Yeah, let me tell you something. If you are married or in a serious relationship and you're not talking about sex with your partner, you're crazy.
And there may be a problem there, too. Because that may be something that could develop into a larger issue.
Yeah,
which
man.
is kind of what this app, by having these conversations with your significant
it's breaking
other,
down walls.
Yeah, it's eliminating some barriers that may have existed, which may be, big deals that just aren't talked about.
Yeah, and that's another thing is like even in a relationship, something that my wife and I, a discussion that was formed off of this app was my wife and I talking about, talking about sex, but talking about things that were like, honestly, we were just kind of uncomfortable talking about. And it was like, I just won't mention it. You don't want to talk negatively about your partner and sex.
No, never. You don't want to be that person. I mean, even if you have a criticism or a complaint, there's a certain way you want to address that, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you the truth right now is this app opens the door to have some of those more difficult conversations and does allow you to actually discuss and take criticism and to give criticism where it's needed and stuff. Because like my wife will be like, well, why'd you answer it this way? And I'll be like, well, I answered it this way, not because of this, but actually because of this, and this.
Yeah.
Well, and it starts to open a door into a whole new understanding. It opens the door into how your partner's brain works. And like I said, it's not just sex. There's all kinds of things, man. And
you may even learn things that they were lacking, things that they felt that they were lacking that you weren't aware that they were lacking, and if you had known that it wasn't there, you would have addressed it.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like what I've learned is this, and now I've known it anyway because honestly I'm a guy, so it's not hard to know. My wife is just my wife. She struggles with body confidence. Look, my wife's 33. She's had 2 kids. Me personally, 33, 2 kids, full time. I'm talking more than 40. I'm talking full time worker. This woman will work.
Yeah.
And so she's, and look, man, we've already had these conversations because of this. I have no problem saying my wife's a little bit overweight, but that bothers her, not me. Like,
yeah,
I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife's squishy in the right places. So, like, she's like, I don't like my belly. I was like, yeah, what? You're what?
Yeah.
She's like, my belly, it sticks out too far. I was like, honey, if we go a little bit north,
so you have
nobody knows about a belly.
So these things that she has that make her feel uncomfortable or self-confident or conscious, but you personally try to hype her up because you don't see those as deficiencies.
Dude, I gas my wife up all the time. I tell her she's a dime piece every day.
But the thing still exists that's the way that she feels about it. So that's why you have these conversations.
Absolutely,
and it's
because
important to talk about the things that
Yeah. Well, and like with me, man, here's my formula with my wife is I try my best to hold her accountable and give her criticism, even on weight. Give her criticism where she needs it. Now, I'm not ever like, honey, you're as fat as a hog, you know what I mean? Because I'm not stupid.
If anything, it'd probably be like that
isn't a bad. That's not a good decision.
Yeah, you don't want to eat that one.
Yeah.
That one's not
Yeah.
good. That's just bad for nobody.
There ain't nothing but hurt feelings in that cupcake. There ain't nothing but hurt feelings.
That flavor's
in that.
not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And and she responds well to it now because she also has like I used to make fun of people with it, but she has a gluten intolerance, so she has to eat gluten free, and I'm like, that's not real. And she ate gluten free of course. I mean, I still stand by it's not real because she doesn't stick to her gluten free diet. Like, she sticks to her diet, but then she'll be like, well, there's nothing to eat. I'm having a sandwich. And I'm like...
I think it's more of an intolerance, and it makes you start to feel sick after a while.
Bro, yeah.
Like
I'm telling you, she feels...
really bad sick?
Like, bloated. Well, here's the whole thing, is she had been dealing with it for so long, she didn't really... Like, she knew she didn't feel great, but she didn't even realize how bad she felt until she stopped. And then she started feeling better and started dropping weight and started feeling, all this kind of stuff. Well, just like all the rest of us do. Gluten-free, golly, man, I don't feel like having to deal with that. I don't have anything here to... I'll just eat this. It's just one thing. I'll just eat. I mean, it's a slippery slope, and we all do it.
Yeah.
But her big thing now, she's like, I don't even care about losing weight. She goes, I feel like crap. She goes, I just want to be able to... She goes,
better?
I just got to eat better so I can feel better. Well, and she started to. Well, guess what? Her attitude has changed. She feels better. Her sex drive has changed. She feels more open.
Confidence is running higher
because she feels better. Yeah, you don't feel like it. Look, you're gonna feel like a sloppy turd if you feel like a sloppy turd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I know that's redundant, but at the same time, you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
you know
that's, and at the same time, that is what these companies like McDonald's, for instance, are wanting you to do. They want to feed you the sludge
your feelings
so that you can feel like sludge and come right back to them for more sludge.
Just forget it. I just give me 2 Big Macs this time, Of course, me, I just buy into it. I'm like, yo... Of course, I buy into the dad stuff. Like when my daughter's like, Dad, can I have this? And I know that's too much food for her. I'm like, bet. You want to know why? Because I'm going to dad out and I'm going to be like, yo, bro, what's up with them chicken McNuggets? You ain't going to finish those?
You ain't going to finish them nuggies, dog?
Like, what's up with that, homie? And she's like, do you want my apple slices? I'm like, yeah, bro. So,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude,
you'll order your meal, but you won't order anything extra for yourself because
because my whole family is extra for myself.
Yeah, inevitably there's going to be, babe, I can't finish this.
And most of the time it's not even my daughter, it's my wife. She'll be like, can I get, let's say, and she'll order something ridiculous.
Really, really like deluxe combo?
No, the opposite. She'll be like, can I just get... a McDouble and a small fry.
And on the McDouble,
take everything off of it, except for the meat. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a thing. She'll eat her meat and cheese patty, and then she's like, oh, I can't finish these fries. I'm like, thank God, because give me those. McDonald's fries. I will. You won't? Yeah, you can? Okay.
Accurate.
Yeah, Fatty McFat Boy over here is like, give me those fries. What's up with them nuggies, dog?
None of it goes to waste, though.
No, bro. Because hey, bro, look, I grew up.
It's dad thing.
Yeah, well, because I grew up in a house that it's like, you are not wasting that food. Now, look, man, I didn't grow up dirt floor poor, nothing like that, man. I grew up in a good home, man. I had good parents, nice clothes, good shoes, good morals, the whole 9 yards, man. I'm a little bit gutter, but that's because of me, not because of my folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that one's on you.
Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I chose that lifestyle, not my folks, man. So, neither here nor there, though. I grew up in a house, though. If my mama cooked and I put it on my plate, and not even me, if my mama put it on my plate, you are not getting up unless you finish it.
Yeah, you best believe that's going to get finished.
And if you didn't finish it,
you didn't get up and leave.
Oh, no, I could get up and leave, but there wasn't none of that like that my daughter does constantly. You're like, eats 2 bites of her dinner, and then like 20 minutes later, I'm hungry.
I want a snack.
I'm like, get out, bro. Yeah, you got food still. I left it out on the counter, bruh. Finish that. That stuff's cold and nasty by now.
It's like the fries are gone because the dog got it.
Yeah. Dog got the nuggies, dog. I don't know what happened, but
there's still 2 of them. You have 4, there's 2 left.
Yeah. Where are my nuggets, Maggie? Maggie got them.
There's some accuracy to that.
Well, there is some accuracy to that. Roscoe got them.
You can't leave them out for long when you
know, it's never a dog,
like
though. It's Figaro.
It's a cat.
It's Figaro. He jumps up on the counter and he's like, oh, hey, am I not supposed to be up here, homie? And I'm like, you know you're not supposed to be up there. Figgy, get down, man. He's like, all right, bro.
And then right to the food.
Yeah, and he like knocks a nugget off on the floor, jumps down after it. I was like, are you... I watched you do it. He's like, it fell, bro. It fell.
I'm not supposed to be up here, remember?
Yeah, I'm not. I can't put it back up. I'm not supposed... that's my cat. We got off on a weird subject. So the app Paired helps with relationships. And apparently my animals talk to me and I talk back.
Yeah.
There's only one side of that's true. So, you do the math. But getting back on subject, though, the Paired app, trying to tone it back into semi-serious mode because we do have fun with it. It is fun. It does generate a lot of laughs between me and my wife because we'll sit there comparing answers and be like, I'll look at something and be like, she'll answer something off the wall, like, what's the most romantic thing for your husband? And she's like, bruh. So, like, she'll be looking at it, and, like, the options will be, like, a walk on the beach, watching the sunset, a romantic candlelight dinner, or, like, I don't know, something else sappy from a movie. Yeah. And my wife's like, he would do none of these things.
So she tries to pick one.
Yeah, so she's like, watching the sunset. And I'm like, got me. She's like, you really think it's romantic? I'm like, no, but that's the most likely one I picked.
Out of all of them.
Yeah, out of all of them, it's like, what I want to, like, a walk on the beach? What? That means I have to walk and I've got sand all over me.
It's like, where's E? Go get some fried chicken and get busy.
Yeah, bro. Pizza and Netflix and chill. Look, man, I followed the advice that Leonard Skinner gave us, okay? I became a simple kind of man. Or Shinedown, depends on what generation you are. Yeah, man, it doesn't take all that. Like, I know it does for her, and that's why I do it. But and I say that as if I do it all the time. I am not a romantic person. In fact, my wife is a saint for dealing with me because I am. I'm like, you want to get a pizza and, go find out what's going on in the other bedroom? She's like, no. I'm like, you don't like pizza? What's up? But
she's like, no, the pizza's fine.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, no, the pizza I'm agreeing to. And I'm like, well, come on, but whatever.
So the app has opened up new lines of communication between you and
it has, man. It actually served its purpose. And a lot of times those apps don't serve their purpose. It just becomes, whatever. But it really has.
Ad wall after ad wall after ad wall.
Yeah, but dude, there's no ads. Well, I mean, there might be ads, but
They're
enough to where I don't even notice them. And I use this app every single day. My wife and I interact with each other every single day. Like if I'm on break here, I'll look at it. She's usually answered some questions on a game or a quiz that I'll go back through and do it. And we'll compare answers. Are we, this is and this. Like for the first couple days of it though, doing like, because when you first get it, you're like looking for every quiz, doing all the fun ones.
It's like Pokemon Go all over again.
Yeah, and my wife's finding all the cool ones. Like, I refer to them as the what is that? What is that magazine? Oh my God, Cosmopolitan. I refer to them as the Cosmo quizzes. Like what turns your man on, and she'll do the quiz and like she'll
like
send
17 ways to please your man in bed. And it's like,
yeah, it's like 17. I was like 17.
Or if you listen to Dave Chappelle, I think there's like 3.
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and like most men are listening to Dave Chappelle going, that's accurate.
Yeah, and the make me a sandwich, that's nice.
Yeah, and like making me a sandwich as the 3rd is accurate. Yeah,
the best.
Yeah, that's the best one. Forget all that other nonsense. Just make the sandwich.
Yes, can I have a sandwich, please? I'm hungry.
Yeah, please and thank you. But yes, so but anyway, the first, she's going through all these quizzes and stuff, and like I was looking at our answers, comparing them, and I was like, well, honey, 9 years together, the better part of a decade together, and we know nothing about each other. What have we been doing?
Are you learning new things as a result of the app?
Yeah, man, I think so. Yeah, learning new things in certain subjects, and refreshing in other subjects. But
it's
really
kind of
more than
rekindled
anything,
a little bit of passion in the relationship,
Sure,
too,
yeah,
as well as what it sounds like. Because
Hey,
it does sound like you two are not
we're-
only communicating more frequently,
but we're
you're-
connecting more frequently. You know,
and
it's
you're,
actually
you're having fun. You're joking and laughing at the answers, but that's a conversation you'll have later and have a good conversation
Yeah.
as a result.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's done. So it's been really cool. And so, like, I actually, like I said, I'm not paid by this app or anything like that, but I am plugging it because, like, I've seen a positive change. Now, it's not something that if your marriage is on the brink of destruction, you download this app and it'll save it. That's not what I'm saying. That's nowhere close. But it couldn't hurt because you learn something new. And the main thing I think is it doesn't matter about all these quizzes. What matters is the conversations that follow. And
and it matters that you guys are both taking the time to actually do it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing if you download the app because she asked you if you would download the app and give this a try.
Yeah.
And then you half-ass it.
Yeah.
Because then if you half-assed it, she'd be doing it her end, and then you wouldn't be giving her a full effort.
Yeah.
And what is the freaking point? At that point, why are you even really doing it? There's a deeper seated issue that would need to be addressed.
Yeah,
But because you are open-minded with it, you downloaded it and you are actually actively participating in it.
Yeah.
It is paying off for you dividends. So.
Yeah, man. And anymore, I guess, I don't know, man. This last, once again, most people who listen to this show know I deal with depression and stuff like that. And I go through, I don't know if you could call it like a manic depressant, but it is similar. Like, my lows are really low, my highs are really high. But, this last spell was pretty rough. But, honestly, what snapped me out of it was getting a different perspective on things. Like, I'd been focusing really on the wrong things. Money.
Yeah.
Money always becomes my focus. I'm a greedy person. I come by it honestly.
Cash rules everything around me.
Cream, get the money.
Dollar
Bill,
bill,
y'all. Anyway, don't sue us. You know what? If I got sued by the Wu-Tang, I'd be proud. You know what? Ain't nothing to mess with, all right? I'm with you. Anyway, RZA, Jizza, Ghostface, Killer, Inspected Deck, the Wu-Tang Clan. Anyway.
Rip OGB?
Yeah.
Or ODB, excuse me.
OGB. I mean, he was an OG.
He was an OG.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, this app has just been really cool, and it has
It's called
opened the door.
Paired?
Paired. Yes. Paired. Paired. And it's just easy on the mic there.
Where are they?
He's rocking the mic because it rocked.
Say hey-o.
All right. It's a cool app. If you want to connect with your partner, I would, give it a download. It's cool, man. Check it out. Okay, so we'll move off of that, and we'll get into something I'm very excited about talking about. I am so excited to talk about.
As soon as I sent it to you,
I did.
immediately responded.
Instantly. I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. And I looked it up, and it's fantastic. And it's an Arkansan who has started this.
Yes.
What, about 6 years ago?
Yeah, it's a relatively recent phenomenon. I think about 7 years ago is when he said he officially began it.
Yeah,
And
but only in the past month or well, I say month.
About the past year,
Yeah, but the
maybe.
past year, it's really picked up steam.
It really took off around, COVID and quarantine and people being locked up.
We have nothing to do, so let's get on the internet.
So the conspiracy theories started taking over on the TikTok verse and on the internet. Well, it has gotten to the point to where it manifested, and we'll get into exactly what we're talking about in a second. But it's gotten to the point now to where this thing that may have started out as a parody of, conspiracy theory has become a full-on legitimate. People believe this, and they don't.
This
have
is no
answers.
longer
There-
conspiracy theory.
there
This
are
is
diagrams.
just theory. This has become scientific
So go ahead and
theory.
Yes, this is fact according to some people. So go ahead and clue our audience into what we're referring to here.
Okay. I'm sorry. Birds aren't real. Birds, like chirp chirp, flying around, making nests. You can touch them. You can everything. Birds aren't real.
Yeah.
So, Fayetteville, Arkansas, man,
Peter McEnroe
has started.
McIndoe, excuse me.
McIndoe. Okay, he started basically this nonsensical thing. He just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to stir up some trouble on the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a wild claim.
He's going to make a sign, and he's going to take the sign to an event that was happening, and the sign said, "Birds aren't real."
Yeah, birds aren't real. So when I heard this, I was like, okay, well, obviously that's nonsense. It's silly. So it's just honestly, I thought it was just a parody. I really did. So, and well, we'll get into that too. But so I thought it was just a parody. So I started looking it up, and holy cow, this has a huge cult following on the internet.
It does. Now there are some people that may be in on it.
I think there's a lot of people.
Others that I've watched, and I don't think they're in.
No,
on the joke.
They're straight up legit. They believe that
these are drones. That these are robots, that these birds
that the government is using to gather surveillance of all kinds of video and audio, heat signatures. I was reading a whole bunch of things they think that they're measuring, that the government's using to measure with these bird drones. So to which I have a few questions. So look, first off, I want to be abundantly clear when you say birds aren't real, okay? Cap. That's cat. That's not that's not real. Birds are real. Okay, like you can see them everywhere. They crap on my car. They're real. Okay, I have.
Well, that's the thing about it is the conspiracy theory goes that the government has secretly over the past few years completely killed off all birds.
Right.
Birds don't exist anymore,
Right.
and they have been replaced with mechanical birds that look like the old birds that you've grown up seeing. That look like flesh and meat bird.
Absolutely.
Feathers,
it's like a T-800.
Yes, and it goes so deep. Like if you always ask why birds are standing on power lines,
Yeah, it's
that's when
recharging.
they're charging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that. I read that line specifically today, and I was like, "Oh, that is fantastic." So, listen, birds aren't real. People are the same people that believe the Earth is flat. Okay, these are the same.
He's
folks.
back. He told you last week.
Yeah, I told you.
I'm
I'm coming for you, all you flat earthers. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make it abundantly clear right now. I'm not letting up. I'm not letting up. If you're a flat earther, or if you're one of these crazy birds aren't real people, get at me. Let's have a conversation about it. And by a conversation, I mean you try to convince me, and I tell you how silly you sound. We can do this. You know what? And I'll do the whole thing in Trump voice. The entire thing. I'll be like, "Rug, that's wrong, okay, and I'll tell you why. Okay, first off, if I was going to replace all the birds, I would have started in China. Okay, I would have started in China, would have made my way towards Russia, and Putin wouldn't have been able to do anything." See, I mean, I could make an entire bit about this.
It's just insane, though, because it all started out. I guess he's only recently kind of pulled down the veil on this as well, because he's never publicly broken character.
I know, but what's it been in sometime in the past 6 months? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like in the past 60 Minutes got an exclusive, is what it really is.
National news story.
And he finally broke character and explained the whole thing was a counter-protest to protesting.
Yeah.
Because everybody was coming up with their own ridiculous causes and protesting or counter-protesting something, so he thought it would be funny and sarcastic to say that birds weren't real, they were drones. And it just continued to grow to the point to where he dropped out of college. And he's making so much money off of the merchandise and these rallies. Like they held a rally in St. Louis where they burned the St. Louis Cardinals flag.
Oh my God!
Because Cardinals are
because they're a form of government oppression. They're trying to watch us. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and sum something up for the birds aren't real people. Okay, now your theory overall let me put it to you like this. I can't even do that. Jeez. So the government's goal in your theory, I believe is correct, but I believe that they've been doing that before they started, quote unquote, killing off all the birds.
Yes.
I just feel like there's more cost efficient and time efficient ways to spy on us rather than kill off all birds and replace them with millions
I
upon
guess-
billions of dollars.
You know how there's mission statements or the goal from these groups.
Yeah.
This one right here is the movement claims all birds in the United States were exterminated by the federal government between the years 1959 and 1971 and replaced by look-alike drones used by the government to spy on citizens. The specifics of those theories are not always consistent, and they are not, which is common among conspiracy theories, that there's inconsistencies. They also claim that the birds sit on power lines to recharge themselves, that they poop on cars as a tracking method, and that U.S. President JFK was assassinated by the government due to his reluctancy to kill all birds.
Oh, my God. I didn't see the JFK thing. That's fantastic, though. Oh,
so,
wow.
yes.
I mean, it's not fantastic JFK got killed, but that happened a long time ago. But that theory is absolutely...
They're drawing all of... So much for your magic bullet theory.
Yeah, if come to find out, it was actually one of the first prototype Eagle drones. The bald Eagle drone is actually the only one to have a 20-millimeter minigun on it. That's what took out JFK. They don't know. I'm like, a 20 mil?
But
I don't think that did that.
But they go into it so in depth. Like, the explanation is I hunt. I go out. I shoot ducks. I go out and shoot pheasants. I shoot these animals, and then you know what? I take them back home. I pluck them. And then
and gut them,
and look, they're not a drone. It's like no, that's how deep this goes. That's how great the technology is to fake it.
That they're actual organs.
That there's actual organs, but there's also real birds mixed amongst the fake birds.
But they exterminated all birds. But them birds came from Mexico. Okay, we only eradicated the U.S. bird, brother. You're not listening to me.
It is so wild that the depth that they will go to in their denial of birds being real.
I remember the last time a real bird actually came through, man. He flew right over the trailer park, man. And he put me up with his mind powers and shook me around like an old dog.
And we're back to ourselves.
Yeah, there we go. That guy's going to be in every conspiracy theory. Like, if you're like, hey, we're going to talk about squatches this time, we'll be like, yeah, so there I was in the middle of the woods and a squatch walked by. Picked me up with his mind powers and shook me around like an old dog. Aliens, squatch, bird drones, they all pick me up with their mind powers, shook me around like an old dog.
I don't understand the appeal of following the conspiracy theory unless you're in on the joke. If you're in on the joke, I get it. You're mocking people and their wild conspiracy theory. I get all of that.
Sure.
But there are some people out there that are diehard, believe this is a legitimate
this is real.
thing. Those are drones. They don't mess with birds because that's the government spying on us.
But here's the thing, man. This is silly.
I had a pet bird. Does that mean I just had a...
Hey, man, you just invited the CIA into your house, brother. That's how they knew where you were all the time, how they knew what you was doing. Hey, never mind the tracking device that we keep in our pockets.
The Alexa device that I use to ask questions about, hey, what's going on? What time is it?
Yeah. Hey, Alexa, how do you make a bomb? There's no way that could be. Put me on some kind of list. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Look. But I am going to say this. This is obviously silly. Flat earthers are obviously silly. These are all conspiracy theories, blah, 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 right?
Again, the flat earth thing, that legitimately believe it's real.
Yeah. Nothing. Just nothing. You get out. What do we... Okay, is there a portal theory, like a wormhole theory at the end of the earth where you and pop out on the other one?
No.
Exactly. So shut up.
What's even crazier about the flat earth theory is that they are fully willing to acknowledge that the other planets are round, the sun is round, the moon is round.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Just the earth is flat.
Yeah. Because when you look out at the horizon, it's flat. I'm like, that's called optical illusion because you can't fathom how large the earth is.
Yeah, it's a spherical shape.
Your brain can't see it.
Anyway.
I know I'm getting way off subject, but I am going to say that there are. But okay, you got to think out of all these wild conspiracies. Okay, aliens, right? That was a
Squatch.
Okay, but let's just use aliens for just a second. Up until about 4 years ago, that's a wild conspiracy. Now, it had a bigger following because it's been around for 50, 60 years, 70 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the vast majority of people are like, oh my God, there's not aliens. Or, truthfully, the vast majority of people is like, hey, I don't know, maybe, who cares? you know.
It seems logical that we wouldn't be alone in the universe.
Sure, right. So people are starting to warm up to that, right? Just like people are starting to warm up to Squatch. They really are. I mean, there's more and more stuff on TikTok
it's
and
all
on
over
Reels.
television. I
man,
mean, they created
Squatch
television shows. It became
and-
mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. Once it becomes mainstream, then people
Once
are
you
like,
can make money and market off of it, then is it technically become real?
yeah, but exactly. If you're drumming up money off of it, hey, look, it is no longer conspiracy. It's just theory.
See, right now the Hoot Hob show only exists in theory.
Yeah, we are a conspiracy. Well, actually, I don't know because there's proof that we're out there. Both
Mandela
video
effect.
and audio.
All I gotta do is click a button. Mandela affect everybody. It's gone.
Yeah, that's right. People are like, didn't those two idiots used to do a show? No, I don't think that. It'll just be me and you out there. No. Hey, welcome to the Hoot Hob Show. We've never done a show before. What?
Welcome to the first episode.
Yeah,
of
the
Hoot
very
Hob Show.
first episode. Okay, but
Right hand man to the left.
Yeah, my right hand man to the left, BT, and of course with me as always, C Wayne. And C Wayne be like, hey. Meanwhile, you're like, banana cream pie. I'll be like, it's a different universe. You don't remember.
Baker Mayfield, Super Bowl
Yeah,
MVP.
Let me tell you something about Baker, touchdown maker.
We'll get to that.
We will because
I got some points on that one
yeah.
too.
So I guess I'm going to need to speed, to move it on past birds aren't real. But I am going to say this: every conspiracy theory, no matter how wild, eventually we'll get a little bit closer to the mainstream, right? Now, this one might fall flat because the guy who started it's like, yeah, it's cap. I was just trying to make some
He
money.
finally
It worked
admitted
out.
it was BS.
Yeah.
I guess he was kind of trying to be a political protester by protesting.
Yeah,
So
which
it's
I
a
think
very
it's,
Gen Z thing to do.
yeah, it's a
right?
satirical protest, which, I feel like it's sometimes maybe it is in bad taste, but he did this after the big time protest, or was it before the 2020? Okay.
What it is when Donald Trump won presidency
In 2016, there was a lot of
protesting him
Right.
winning. So
sure. So this would have been an
counter-protest.
appropriate time for a satirical protest, in my opinion.
After seeing pro-Trump counter-protest at the Women's March in Memphis, Tennessee,
Yeah.
he wrote "Birds Aren't Real" on a poster,
Yeah.
and went to the counter-protest as a joke. Well, a video went viral of him holding the sign. He posted on Facebook, and then it became its own thing.
But see, that's the thing. During the same time period, during all the
Birds aren't real.
Yeah, birds aren't real, I guess. But during the
We have billboards here locally, by the way, because we're real close to the source.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it started in Memphis.
I know. Started in Fayetteville.
Oh yeah, that's right. The counter protest going on in Memphis is what started
because
it.
he's from Memphis and he has family there, but he's a
Okay,
U of A
gotcha.
student.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, was
So
a U of A student.
right. But so this cat, that would have been a hot time to do it though, because you had like all the MAGA dudes. You had like what do they call them? Like the Freedom Boys or some stuff. Excuse me. But anyway, so you had them. Then you had all the, you had a bunch of whiny troublemakers like Donald Trump's a racist. I'm like, he might be, but he hadn't done anything yet. He's not even been sworn in yet. So then you have like all these people arguing about like that. So I think that's prime time to come up with a sign, because I think there was another dude who did a counter protest that said like bring back Szechuan sauce.
Oh yeah, which that in itself is something we haven't touched on, but the toxic fan basis of Rick and Morty, where they're just
Bro, yeah, I'm telling you, like it's hard to admit you're a fan of that show now. Like people are pretty rough.
they're like, oh, you're one of those people that went and drove all those people crazy at McDonald's over sauce.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some more toxic traits to the Rick and Morty fan base. Like, the show's pretty risque anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There is some weird stuff that goes on the internet that's connected to Rick and Morty, and I'm like, I like the show, but I'm not like one of yous guys or anything.
Well, I think it goes back to a lot of people when they grab a hold of something or connect to something, and maybe in this case, even this birds aren't real joke.
Yeah.
They go so hard. They
Yeah.
go full in on it, and then they double down on it. Like, you can't tell me I'm wrong because I'm allowed to have an opinion too. Am I not?
exactly. You can believe whatever you want.
It's like, yeah, you can. It's just if we're also, by that same token, allowed to mock the shit out of you because you sound stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Like you do that to us, so we can do that to you. Like, look, man.
That's our counter protest.
That's
here
always been our crime.
is
Look, you're liberal and I'm conservative,
Yeah.
but we both are like, can't we just make fun of everyone and be
we're
happy?
like F the cancel culture because okay, you cancel that. Well, by canceling that, you're doing the same thing that you're rallying against because you're allowing this thing that you're wanting to be canceled to influence you rather than learning from it and doing the opposite.
Yeah, canceling anything. Look, the only thing I stand by canceling are if we can cancel the people who are the ones pushing the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Like, let's cancel them. And other than that, then everyone just make fun of whoever you want. Do what you...
The thing is Pete, we're all human beings. We're all flawed, and we do definitely got to jump on another subject here.
Yeah.
But we're all human beings, and we're all definitely flawed. So wouldn't it make sense that we're going to make mistakes? Like
Sure.
We're going to make a mistake as a whole, as just a group of people for a generation. We're going to make mistakes as individuals.
Yeah.
Are we not saying that a person can't come back from that mistake? I understand there are mistakes that are so heinous you can't really forgive that. You got to kind of handle those.
I would say, okay. But see, once again...
But can a person grow? Can a person change? Can a person serve their time in jail or have rehabilitation and come back and re-assimilate society?
Yes.
Look at Iron Man. Look at Robert Downey Jr. for an example.
Yeah, well, okay, but I look at more realistic stuff. I have a set of twin brothers in my life that have both worked for me. Both of them... they live that drug life, gang life, prison life. Both of them got out of prison, went back to prison, got out of prison, went back to prison. Well, the last time for both of them, they got out. Now, I have nothing to do with this. It just happens to be the coincidence. When Dustin got out, he came to me, wanted a job. I put him to work, and I held him accountable. He got cleaned up, has a great job now. He's a Pentecostal minister now. And he works for Tri-State Enterprises in Fort Smith slinging car parts. It's a warehouse, but he's making good money, all that kind of stuff. Now his twin brother, got out the joint. He got stuck on stupid a little bit longer, but now he works for me doing good, living clean, all that. So do I think that someone can recover from big mistakes? Absolutely. Both of these cats have swastikas tattooed on them, everything else from that prison lifestyle. But neither one of them live that life anymore. They don't believe in that. They don't act that way. All they have in their heart is love. And I think that that's really important. And so do I think that people can recover even from heinous crimes? Like, let's never mind their actual crimes. Let's look at their personality traits with, the Aryan stuff.
Yeah, the hate that used to fulfill their heart.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, it was never about hate. It was about protection in prison. That's what it's about. And both of them will tell you that's all that was about. I don't have no hate in my heart for anybody, but when you go to prison, you're going to be there a long time. You're going to get killed if you don't click up with somebody. So they're white. They clicked up with the white guys. They get out and they're like, nope.
I listened, and I don't want to get us again off subject too far.
Sure,
I listened to a podcast with some guys that were interviewing somebody who had been in prison a while back, and he basically broke it down and explained how things work, and you don't really have a choice when you go in there based off of your ethnicity and race. Because when you go in there, that's the way that the system is set up internally. It is divided amongst races, and there's no way around it. You just can't.
Absolutely.
You can't cross over because that race is not going to allow that to happen. So either you're an island and you have to try to survive it, which sounds like pure hell.
Look, man, I worked in the prison system. Look, you don't. And look, man, it ain't. I can tell you, the race thing in prison is about if things are bad. When things are good, everyone lives in harmony. But if things get bad, that's when you have to side with your race and everything. And it's crazy.
Yeah, and there's certain rules because, there are certain times where the races work together. Yeah. And it's a real complicated system. We don't really have a lot of time to go into that.
No,
that's a story for another day.
Nor do we need to because, it's like that's an outdated system.
It is an outdated system, but it still exists in
that
society.
It does.
So if we were really going to go into it, we would invite your friend on here and let him explain it to us in his terms,
I think that'd be
lived
great.
it. So that would be, with a more appropriate way.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at it as people who haven't been in there, and you're looking at it as someone who had to be a jailer on the other side of the wall. But living within the system and the secret codings and everything, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's a messed up society, and I believe people can rehab from that.
Yeah.
So I believe. I don't know. I believe people can change, and if you try to just cancel them and cast them aside forever, you're creating more of a problem than you are trying to fix anything.
Yeah,
because you're just giving up on your brother.
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes you do have to associate yourself with something you're not super proud of in order to help somebody. And I think if we all realize that, then don't judge someone just based off of who they're around. I know that it's easy to do, and we've always been told our whole lives, you are who you hang out with. I get it. But anymore, if you're actually out there on a mission to civilize, then you're going to hang around with some rougher people. With everything that's going on with Brittany Griner in Russia, I know that I personally haven't lost a wink of sleep. I don't know about you. Worried to death about Brittany. I know that if I were in trouble in any way, Brittany Griner would sleep just fine, not knowing who I am. I don't know her either. I ain't been losing sleep. However, the worm, that's right, Rodzilla, Dennis Rodman, he's decided he's had
NWO member for life.
That's right, for life. And I will say this: he's had enough. He's had enough. He has good luck in communist-ruled dictatorships like South Korea. They're our friends. Sorry, North Korea. Whoops. And now he's decided he's heading to Russia. He's going to free Brittany Griner, and he is not sanctioned by the U.S. government. He's going on his dime. He's Rodzilla, and he's going to go walk in and say, "Hey, I'm Dennis Rodman, and let my people go."
I think that was his idea.
You didn't let me finish the joke. I was going to say, and then he parts the red cheeks because it's okay. I think it's red China, but still, I mean, come on, it's communist. No, golly, bro. Yikes, bro.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on. But now our guy. Thank you. Thank you.
I need a minute there.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I told you, man. My parents didn't raise me in the gutter. I went there myself. That was a good joke, though. Even though, whatever. We'll move past it. Anyway, our government has now discouraged Dennis from going. I would say for pretty obvious reasons.
Yeah, for his safety and for the safety involved.
I got news for you. Vladdy doesn't care who you are, Worm.
No,
he doesn't. Of course, even though you might be a big star in it, because I think they're just now watching the '97 finals in Russia and in Eastern Europe. So. Western
he's
Russia.
hitting his prime there.
Yeah.
Well, when he shows up, they're in for a heck of a surprise when they see what Dennis looks like now.
Oh, what the Miami Vice, the #1 new show. I don't know why I turned into Borat, but anyway, I don't know. That's probably in the same area. So I guess Dennis isn't gonna go, but just so we're clear. Here at the Hoot Hob Show, we had faith in Dennis. We knew
he'd have brought her back.
It was like we're like, listen. We've run out of options. We've exhausted all our resources. Like, what do we do? Do we get the briefcase and hit the button? No. That's crazy. What we do is you have to get me the red phone. We're going to call in the worm. Like, what? We can't just nuke him? It seems less severe. It's like, no. We're sending Dennis in.
We're going to break out an old Bulls uniform. We're giving him a basketball. We're going to let him dye his hair, and we're going to send his ass over here, and he's bringing her home.
Yeah, that's right. He'd just walk in, they'd be like, holy God, Brittany, go. We
got Worm now. We're good.
Yeah. It's a trade. It's a trade deal. Listen, we'll give you Ukraine and the worm. If we get, all I was saying, just give him the worm, or just give him Ukraine. We can't give them both. Not for Brittany Griner.
It's like, it'll take Dennis.
Yeah. So we had our fun with that. I'm sure we offended somebody somewhere with
everybody.
That. Yeah,
I offended myself.
Yeah, there were a couple jokes in there. I was like, hooty hoo, back off, bro.
Red cheeks.
Yeah, parting the red cheeks. Because I said, let my people go. It's a Moses joke.
It is.
I think that might be sacrilegious, though. Yikes! And I'm, dear Heavenly Father. Anyway, so why don't you go ahead and get that sports beat and spin that stuff. Okay, so now that we're gonna do sports on the Hoot Hop Show again, let's just get straight into it. I know it's already been debunked, but we had technical difficulties last week, so it still seemed like a fun conversation. So let's talk about this offhand remark Giannis made. For those of you who don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo, franchise player, the face of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Arguably the best player in the league.
I would say that arguably is almost insulting because Giannis, the Greek freak Antetokounmpo, is probably the greatest in the game right now.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not discrediting LeBron. I'm not discrediting
Luka.
I'm not discrediting anybody, bro. I mean, this cat's just that good. I mean,
you don't think it's Russ? Moving on.
I just can't. I feel honestly, dude, after this past season, I feel like picking on Russell Westbrook is like pistol whipping a blind kid. Like, it just seems so rough because like he had such a bad year and he was once this incredible shooter.
While we're on that subject, the news that has broken of a trade that is happening. The Lakers have traded for Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley is going to be on the Lakers. And right now, we don't know how the Lakers would be able to trade Russell Westbrook. Well, Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley have historically and notoriously had major beef with one another.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Yes. So they're going to have to find a way to make that work. I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to make that function, but they're going to have to find a way to make that work. And it's interesting because, Russell Westbrook essentially blames technical difficulties part deux.
God. All right.
He essentially blames Patrick Beverley for derailing the trajectory of his career because that meniscus tear that happened in the 2014 playoffs.
Okay, real quick, your opinion on that.
I think Beverly plays the way that he plays because he had to bust his ass and hustle to get from Arkansas to get
NBA.
to Europe, to get to the NBA to even play.
Absolutely.
So even though Russ called timeout and Patrick was diving for the ball and all that, that's Beverly's style. Is he has to be that aggressive guy in order to maintain his spot on the team.
Yeah, he's a Rodman.
So he kept going, and it was an accident. He didn't intentionally try to mess up Russ's team.
That's exactly what I feel
collided,
about it.
And the rest is history.
I think that Russ is kind of a buster for holding that grudge because, like, I remember it. Pat Bev is just an all go no quit kind of guy. Now he runs his mouth too much.
Yes,
because when he does that all go no quit and he dives after a ball and he hurts somebody.
Yeah, the rock and the baby comes from this feud.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things that I don't know how that will work because Russ ain't going to forgive.
No,
Bev. And Pat Bev, honestly, I don't think he in this situation. Now I understand he talks too much,
he did that. He's stoking the fire still. Like even 2 weeks ago, I think he was on one of these ESPN shows talking smack about Russ.
But Pat Bev did that at Arkansas, and he did it in Europe when the dudes couldn't understand a word he said. I'm just kidding. Like most people in Europe speak English. We're the only people who have the audacity to not learn another language, myself included. I'm learning Spanish because I work on construction sites. Was that racist? Nope, factual. Anyway, so like I don't know, bro. The Pat Bev Russell Westbrook thing. We got way off subject anyway. All I can say is, poor Russ. Once a great player, Pat Bev ruined his career by playing harder basketball. Yeah. Maybe if you played harder.
I don't know how they're going to coexist, but it is the game of basketball, and when contracts and money and you all have the same goal in mind for winning a championship,
it's amazing how a beef can get squashed.
They might just have to work through it.
Yeah.
Now, what I think will be interesting is how is Kevin Durant going to work through it with his coach? Because after all of the saga and the drama and everything that we have seen going on with Kevin Durant demanding a trade. Kevin Durant saying that he can't work or play with Steve Nash being his coach and wanting Steve Nash to be fired. Publicly saying he wants his coach fired.
I'm like, it's Steve Nash, bro. Who do you think you're talking about right now?
And now, since all of that is not going to be able to happen because there was no suitors that were able to make this happen, but they're going to have to work and play through it.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into KD, because I actually want to dive into that a little bit. Let's just go with this. Obviously, the Giannis thing has already been debunked, but I wanted to get into that.
Sorry.
How awesome would that have been to have Giannis? Like, in your opinion, would it have been good? Would it have been bad? Put Giannis on the Bulls.
Okay, I don't like Giannis on the Bulls. I like his talent on the Bulls. I don't like Giannis on the Bulls, not at least the way that they're currently built.
Because he would not fit in.
He wouldn't fit in with the way the team is structured. They'd have to completely rebuild around him. And also, he's been a Buck so long at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the Kobe trajectory. You know, Kobe was a Laker.
He's a lifer with this team. He's added to the legacy that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Sidney Moncrief and all of these other former Bucks have created. Oscar Robertson. Yeah. So
I just got to give Sidney the shout out. Razorback.
So I just think that he's going to go down as one of the all-time great Bucks.
I agree. I think that he's already in the books as one of the great all-time NBA players. But I think that just like Kareem, just like Sidney, just like Oscar, you know, when Milwaukee fans 20, 30 years from now are talking about the greats, they're still going to say Kareem. Yeah. They're still going to say Sidney Moncrief. They're still going to say Oscar Robertson. They are going to say Chris Middleton. They're going to say Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, they're going to say these names. And yeah, look, man, Giannis definitely. Chris, even if his talent doesn't get him talked about, the man has to sneak up on a glass of water. His face will have him talked about. I'm sorry, man. Chris Middleton has the face only a mother could love. Just, my gosh. That man is terrifying. But I'd hate to play ball against him for more than one reason. He's an outstanding basketball player, and I just don't know if I could look at him. I'd have to, fundamental defense. Look at his chest. It won't lie to you.
Now, we also talked about the potential – because we made the joke, to the 2026 Bulls or something with Giannis and Anthony Davis.
And AD, that's what
but I think there is some validity to Anthony Davis at the Bulls in the future. He has openly mentioned he wants to play for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, and here's the deal. If AD, here's the deal. Kentucky AD, I didn't like him. Why? Why did I not like Kentucky AD?
Because he's Kentucky.
Exactly, and I am
a Razorback.
That's absolutely right. Was he a heck of a ball player?
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
Yeah, but we mocked that unibrow relentlessly.
Yeah, that's right, man. Look at this dude's brow, man. Golly, this punk playing for while he's slaying everybody.
Yeah, just killing everybody.
Yes. He's Rodman, man. He's just a bunch of red cheeks. Anyway, just like that, we brought it back. I'm canceled. At least my mom's disappointed. At best. What were we doing? Oh yeah, AD. So here's my thing. AD New Orleans. I was like, where was he at before to LA? Okay, so Pelicans AD. I liked Pelicans AD. Everyone liked Pelicans AD. New Orleans liked Pelicans AD. Everyone liked New Orleans Anthony Davis. Why? Because he was young, he was humble, and he was killing it. Destroying it.
Yeah,
so then they're like...
He was this fascinating hybrid of a player that could go out to the three and make a three, and then he would also dominate in the middle.
And he could handle the ball.
And he had handles.
Yeah, not Iverson handles, but he could handle the ball.
Yeah, no,
a big guy who can handle the ball. Who's ever heard of something like this besides like your Giannis? And like I said, I know there's been big guys out there who could dribble, but I'm talking about actually. Giannis is a 6'10" point guard.
Yeah.
AD, whenever he's at New Orleans, had the potential to be a 6'10" point guard. Like he can handle the ball. LAAD, we're talking about lad. LAAD, okay?
Yeah,
he's not so much a ball handler. He's not so much a ball player. Like, he's just kind of like...
Lack of motivation, I think.
Bro, but I mean, look at his face when he's on the court. He does not want to be there. I don't care how much money he's making and how much he, quote-unquote, wants to be there. He don't want to play there. I don't know. And look, I'm not trying to say that there's any drama. I don't know. I don't pretend to be a Lakers fan. That's not me. But...
He doesn't seem motivated.
If AD got his fire back, if like moving to the Bulls would bring his fire back and get all that, 100% I want it.
See, that bubble season was the perfect thing for him.
Yeah.
Perfect for a personality like his where he was able to amp it up for a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But see, that's the whole thing is I don't know that AD has the fire in his belly anymore to be able to hold out a whole season.
Well, that's the beauty if he went to Chicago is he wouldn't have to. He would be
that's
part.
true.
He would be another part. He wouldn't be the star because it would also be near the twilight of
DeMar and Vooch and Levine and everybody
else. He would be
else that's
surrounded
there.
by it and the legacy of all of the previous Bulls that have been there before him. The
Yeah,
shadows
and
of the
you got to
greats.
think, even with like DeMar saying it, it's got to be humbling to walk into the United Center and like step out on that floor.
Literally,
and be like,
the United Center was built because Michael Jordan got so many people to watch the Bulls at Chicago Stadium, they had to upgrade.
Yeah, it's like, listen, this is the house that Michael built. I mean, that's just the truth, man. Phil, Michael, Scotty, all those dudes, they built they built the house that they're in, and so that's probably a pretty humbling experience. I would say, as if I know, if I hadn't messed up my knee, I'd have gone pro for sure. That, or if I had a shot or some handles or some height.
Maybe another foot.
Yeah, maybe another 1.5 feet. I'm only 6 foot. Even. So. Muggsy played, though.
That's always what we go to, right?
Oh, but he had
Muggsy
handles.
was in the league.
Yeah, but Muggsy had handles like nobody's business.
And he was so fast. And his hand quickness.
It's like, where?
I watched a documentary on Muggsy.
I did too.
That
Yeah,
is
he's
a fascinating
fantastic.
story. Yeah, he had to work really hard to get where he is.
Yeah.
Or where he was.
And became one of the greats.
And
Charlotte's-
as a person, he maintained humility and compassion. Like even now, he is still very, very active in the community with helping.
That's awesome, dude. I love hearing
good
those
guy.
stories.
He's a good guy. Another one that's got to sneak up on a glass of water, though.
Definitely, bro. Who's that? Bradley from the 90s. Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley was another one. That dude looked like Lurch.
Yeah.
Golly, he even had that, like, hey, Sean, why the long face? Some of you will get it. Of course, I think I might be talking to the wrong demographic right now because, I don't know. A lot of folks our age listen to this.
Yeah.
I don't know
Our
if they're
peers.
all. I don't know if
Sean
they're
Bradley, remember Space Jam?
yeah. Sean Bradley was in Space Jam. I forgot about that. Pat Ewing, Sean Bradley,
Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, Charles
and
Barkley.
Chuck Barkley. Yeah, man. Forgot they all lost their talent to aliens. Yeah. I got my talent back. I'm like, Chuck.
Girl, 5 foot nothing.
Girl, 5 foot nothing.
my
Block
shot.
my shot. Yeah,
When did you first start having this dream?
yeah, it's not a dream.
That's what I'm telling you. It wasn't a dream. It
Wasn't
really
a
happened.
dream, it really happened. Yeah, I love that movie. That's fantastic. Chuck Barkley, man. That dude's become more of a celebrity now than you ever was.
He is America's sweetheart,
he
Charles
is, man.
Barkley.
Just a round mound to rebound. I knew she'd pick me first. Told you. I'm like, your acting is so terrible. I want it in my life every day.
Terrible.
Okay, so let's wrap this up with going into KD, and we'll actually discuss it. But I do want to give just my punchline to this. All of this nonsensical crap we've been dealing with for months about KD.
Yeah,
and
where's he
Kyrie.
going? Is he going to the Bulls? He's going to the Lakers.
Yeah, is he going
Is
back to
Boston?
Golden State?
Yeah, is he
who
going back to
knows?
Golden State?
Or is he going to the Knicks? Right. Well, after everything's said and done with KD, it has been all for nothing. Kyrie and KD will both be in Brooklyn for this next
And so
season.
will Coach Steve Nash.
Which, look, man, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and say, because we actually already said this, but if you missed it, KD had problems with Coach Nash. He's trying to go everywhere, blah, 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 blah. He's not going to go anywhere. Everyone's staying in place. So they couldn't find any viable replacements for Coach Nash, which let me go ahead and I just want to touch base on this real quick. Now, I understand that you're Kevin Durant. I get that. You're KD. You're Kevin Durant. But that's Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Like, who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? That's Steve Nash, okay? Steve Nash.
Yeah, and who by all accounts seemed like he was kind of a player's coach.
He is. Everything I've heard and seen, he is. Okay, so I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute because this does aim at the LeBrons and the KDs and tons of others, okay? Hey, listen, I love him, but at the Zach LaVines. Okay, look, now Zach did it respectfully, but he still pulled the same the diva move of like, I know what they're going to do. They know I'm staying here, but I'm going to hold out in free agency until they give me exactly what I want. Yeah. Because I know that if I just sign at their first offer, they're going to get away with it. But they know I'm coming back, and I know they'll give me max.
Yeah.
That's a respectful way of
playing the game.
Exactly. That's just playing the game. But like the LeBrons, the KDs, and even back whenever he was there, the Dwayne Wade, stuff like that, holding your team hostage, I'm leaving unless I get my way. I don't like that. And I know that KD has been, I know that it wasn't just Coach Nash. So like, I guess really this is aimed more at LeBron than anything because he's the one who holds teams hostage. But KD was trying. In my opinion, that's what KD was trying.
Was trying to force the hand.
Yeah, force the hand to the front office to get what he wanted.
Either you get rid of this coach.
Or you trade me off.
Or you trade me to somewhere else.
Yeah. And the front office is like, well, we'll try to find a coach. KD, look, we can't find a coach. It's like, fine, trade me. It's like, all right, we'll do it. Listen, KD, well, nobody wants you enough to give us what you're worth.
That's the thing is, I understand Kevin Durant is a phenomenal talent.
Absolutely.
I understand.
I'm not discrediting
He's a champion. He is a two-time champion, so I get that.
Well, I mean, like, by proxy. By proxy, he's a two-time champion.
But it's different than LeBron James when he held the teams hostage as well. Because
I do agree it is different.
Because I don't think Kevin Durant has ever proven he can be the guy to do it by himself.
Right.
He can be a cog in the machine that can get you there.
And he might be a difference maker.
Yes, a huge difference maker. But
if you take away another piece, he can't get it done on his own.
And that's been proven over and over again. Is like you take away something or you add something that doesn't fit, and it's not going to work because he can't do it all by himself. So his ability to hold this franchise hostage, I think, is not fair. Because it's being compared to LeBron or when Kobe said to the Lakers, trade me or rebuild. And they said, we're going to rebuild because they tried to trade him to the Bulls. It wasn't going to work. So here we are. The Lakers, they rebuilt. They got Pau Gasol and Meta World Peace, and the rest is history, right? They won championships.
And for those of you old heads who don't know who Meta World Peace is, that's the man, the myth, the legend, Ron Artest. Malice at the Palace. Poor Reggie. Reggie deserved that championship.
But the fact that Kevin Durant isn't that, I think, is causing part of this issue is he has inflated this diva-like attitude. And nothing good has come from any of this offseason. Nothing. Nothing at all.
And in fact, I feel like...
They still have Ben Simmons.
Oh, God, I forgot they still have been... The Nets will lose outright even if he never plays, just because you have him on roster. The man's the worst player in the NBA, and I'm not even talking about guys we've never seen play.
Well, we've almost never seen him play.
Well, like the last time we saw him play was what, 18?
Yeah.
I mean, a full season?
Yeah, because bubble season, no.
Oh, I guess season? 19. 19 would have been his last 19, full season. Yeah. 20, he didn't play. 21, he didn't play. This next year, guess what? He's not going to play. You want to know why? Because he's terrible, and his best way to mask it is by acting like a diva.
He is Colin Kaepernicking the situation.
Yes, that is exactly it.
He's creating such a buzz off court, it's distracting from his abilities or lack thereof.
And that's the whole thing that people got sideways with me about the cap thing. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, you don't like it because he's standing up for black lives. And I was like, no, it's because we're making it like y'all are pretending like the reason he didn't play football, like the reason he got replaced
is because he was African American.
Is because he was African American. When the case is he got replaced because he sucked. He wasn't good.
He was never good enough.
Yeah, and all those antics happened after he was benched. To which, hey, look, man, you're an American. You have the freedom to protest peacefully, at least, in any way you see fit.
That controversy and all of that not aside. But no, we're not Kaepernick fans because we hate the fact that he was put into
he used a strong off-field subject to make himself more famous
and more money.
Exactly. He whored out a cause.
Yeah.
And
that's what offends me about it is that I think he is, while the intention in the beginning may have been real.
Sure. And it might have been great intentions.
It became to the point to where now it's every week. I got a tryout with a football team.
Yeah.
Am I going to make that roster?
Well, here's the problem. Whenever they're like, look, man, we'll bring you on board. And he's like, no.
It's like, no, you're not going to make that roster. You weren't good enough to make a roster 10. fucking years ago.
Yeah.
What makes you think you can hang with Josh Allen? What makes
Yeah.
you think you can hang with any of these modern quarterbacks?
For real, but he's gotten picked up though, hasn't he?
He is a backup somewhere.
Yeah,
or
he
a
got
practice squad. Or
Yeah,
something
he's
somewhere.
back up to.
Was it Vegas?
Yeah, no,
He didn't end
no,
up
he
in
didn't end up
Vegas?
Vegas. I don't remember where he went. I don't remember. I want to say he's at the Chargers.
Probably.
I want to say he's back in California, which I'm like, whatever,
Which
bro.
is
Just good
fine.
luck.
Yeah,
but-
it's fine and all, and best of luck to him. Maybe he can come in and have a backup and then take over and get a team in the playoffs. Who knows?
Hey, you know
but
what, man?
I've never seen the proof in the pudding when he
Yeah.
was in his prime.
Yeah, okay.
It was his
Cap
lack
in
of
his
talent.
prime. Cap in his prime was 3 really good games.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it was
He had
3
a-
really
he had
good games.
and
Then
it
a
was before
mediocre
they-
season.
It was before they could catch on to him. The pistol was just starting to take over
Yep.
NFL playbooks, where
Yep.
it was a new phenomenon of having a new position here, and he was a hybrid quarterback where he could run and pass.
Exactly.
However,
so he looked really good.
However, the league caught up to him because
Yeah,
those-
defense figured it out.
Defense figured him out, and he's not that athletically talented
Nope.
to get
He
by
couldn't
on
get away
pure
from it.
talent.
Yep.
No, so that's where we're at with that.
So
You got to
yeah.
develop ability to be a quarterback before you can run.
Yeah, so whether it's Colin Kaepernick or KD, the big drum up in the drama was all for nothing. Well, I don't know. Cap made it back into the NFL, so good for him, I guess. And you know what? Honestly, I'll even say I hope he does well.
We'll see how it plays out.
So I guess we can wrap it up here. This has been another episode of the Hoot Hobbs Show. We went ahead and brought sports back. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to give us any feedback. We will feel free to not listen or listen. We don't know. It depends on how good it is. Hey, guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Check us out on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you download us, watch us, whatever.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio is another one, yes. So we love you guys. Thank you for sticking with us, and we bid you good night.